I am honored today to be talking to Mr. Ray Harm, a real live legend. And it's the truth. I'm sorry you got to deal with it.
Okay.
But Ray has spent a lot of time in Kentucky. It was his home for many years. And but you didn't start out there. You started out in West Virginia.
Well, that's where I was born, yeah. Very rural. And our nearest neighbor was 11 miles downstream. So I grew up in a kind of an atmosphere where you almost got to like nature, or you better get in the river and go on downstream.
You were in the sticks. Now, you've touched the lives of so many people with your wildlife art. How did all this begin?
On rainy days or snowy days, even when I was a little fella, I'd draw pictures, and one had to stay indoors. I got to give my mom a benefit for that, because of encouraging me so much. You know, he said, gosh, she said, you're good. There's 5 fingers on that picture, you know, you could become an artist someday. And she really didn't know how prophetic she was.
You started your career drawing cowboys of the Old West.
And for the first half of my life, the way it worked out, I had cowboys take me under their wing for a long time. I drew pictures of cowboys digging post holes and fixing windmills and drawing sucker rods and fixing pumps and all that sort of stuff, and doing, gathering cattle and doing all the things that cowboys do. I've always admired that sort of stuff. I always wanted to be an artist, I guess, or cowboy, whichever came first. It just happened to cowboy and come first.
Your dad was a naturalist, mountain man. You guys spent a lot of time in the woods. What are some things you saw out there?
How many people can say that they saw a wild deer birding, having a fawn in the wild? Yeah, and it really, Dad was really excited about it, and he says that was the first time for him too.
Okay, after art school and after driving a truck for a while, you met Wood Hanna. He's a Louisville businessman. He commissioned you to paint Kentucky birds, and that actually led to the start of a publishing company. How'd that work?
We had a feller, an architect, design and build us a whole building and everything. Upper floor, a basement floor for our packing, and a major floor on the street floor was for our galleries and all that sort of stuff. And they commenced then. He said that if people like your stuff so much, he says, rather than spend $8,000 or $10,000 for an original painting, we could have a copy made that looked just alike it and limit the editions. And he says, make it a collector's item. We started the thing worldwide, and because there are artists all over the world now that are having copies made of their work on a limited edition basis.
You go out into nature and observe and sketch. There's no tracing, there's no photograph. You work from memory and from the things that you...
Tim, you've hit the very heart of Ray Harm. That's what I'm known for. That's what I want to be known for now, is that I only work from living animals as a creative artist. Hap and I, my boy, we go out in the backcountry for 4 or 5 weeks at a time, and we stay up in the backcountry looking for active dens and nests. When you find those, well, you find a geographical location that the animal has to come back to, just like a magnet. If they feed their young, either milk them or birds go out and get worms and whatever for the thing. By that, my dad had taught me how to use a blind too, an observation blind where you hide yourself from the animals. So I don't know how many people are as close to their son as I am, but Hap and I are awful close. We've spent an awful lot of time. See, he goes with me all the time. We've set up observation blinds on great blue herons and everything you can, trumpeter swans and sandhill cranes, and we find nests of them where they have to gravitate to feed their young. So that's where, setting up downwind with mammals. We've even got mountain lion, to sit still for us on that basis. So
when I was a kid, I remember, you cannot believe the buzz when that osprey and eagle came out. And I was always so interested in nature.
Oh, you remember that, huh?
Oh, I remember that. My grandparents talked about it, my parents talked about it.
I painted eagles and cardinals more than any other bird because it's our national bird and our state bird.
And I know that the eagle is near and dear to your heart, and you're.
Well, I painted one for President Kennedy.
Yes. Now at Pine Mountain today, there's a whole section dedicated to your prints. I don't know how many prints are in there.
Tim, you're a gentleman for saying that, but because it is, I'm kind of proud of it.
What do you hope that people 100 years from now, when they're looking at your prints, are going to say about Ray Harm's work?
Well, I hope my reputation as a field naturalist in combination with my skill as an artist, whatever that is how I did it, and that I am whole bent on preserving the creative process.
An honor
Oh,
and a pleasure to
it's
talk with
all
you.
mine, buddy.